ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। वेदव्यासवैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ अथ कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद पारायणम्. Let us do the Parayanam of Taittiriya Upanishad, second Brahmananda Valli. Spend these 5 minutes. Try your best, if possible, to chant yourself. That is the best thing. If it's not, at least attentively listen. While listening, the attitude should be developed of bhakti, shraddha and gratitude, that we are able to chant or listen to the great mantras of this great Vedanta Upanishad, which are the experiences and kind expressions of all the great rishis of ours. So this way, bringing our beautiful qualities of our antakarana while doing any works, particularly such divine works. This conscious effort to bring the devotion, bring the shraddha, bring the gratitude, bring the prayerful mind, asking, O Guru, O Lord, reveal the meaning of these mantras to me, not only intellectual understanding, but also in experience. When I chant any mantra, let me experience the deep explanation of that mantra at that very moment in my life. While praying like this, we should chant. Start. Om Sahana Om Atadvitiya Brahmanandavalli Om Sahana Vavado Sahanao Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ॐ ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेदनिहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सः ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरावः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणः पक्षः अयमुत्तरः पक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति अन्नाद्वै प्रजाः प्रजायन्ते याः काश्च पृथिवीगश्रिताः अथो अन्नेनैव जीवन्ते अथैनदपि यन्त्यन्ततः अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठम् तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते सर्वं वै तेन्नमाप्नुवन्ति येन्नं ब्रह्मोपासते अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठम् तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते अन्नाद् भूतानि जायन्ते जातान्यन्नेन वर्धन्ते अद्यतेत्ति च भूतानि तस्मादन्नं तदुच्यत इति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादन्नरसमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा प्राणमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्राण एव शिरः व्यानो दक्षिणपक्षः अपान उत्तरपक्षः आकाश आत्मा पृथिवी पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति प्राणं देवा अनुप्राणन्ते मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ति ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् प्राणमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा मनोमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य यजुरेव शिरः ऋग्दक्षिणपक्षः सामोत्तरः पक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वाङ्गिरसः पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय शाखान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषत् ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् ॐ तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते अथ शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ षष्ठोऽनुवाकः ॐ स य एषोऽन्तरहृदय आकाशः तस्मिन्नयं पुरुषो मनोमयः अमृतो हिरण्मयः अन्तरेण तालुके य एष स्तन इवावलम्बते सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठते भुवैति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यं आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Having saluted all the rishis, munis, all the gurus, all the devatas, our upasya devatas, ishta devatas, having saluted the Parabrahma Paramatma, the Shruti Mata, and the rishis of this Upanishad, Vedavyasa, Vaishampayana, Yagnivalkya, and the Bhashyakara, Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankara, praying all of them to give us the subtle ability to understand every pada, every vakya, every mantra of the entire Upanishad. Now we are into Shashtonuvakaha Phalashruti. Before that, 2 minutes of discussion. What is Bandhanam and what is Mukti? What is bondage and what is liberation? And to whom it is? To whom it is? Me, the one who is experiencing, to him. Whether it is bondage or liberation, it is to me, I. Now, this I at the stage of liberation is what? An infinite, all pervading, listen carefully, unconditioned by any upadhis, which is of the ultimate, highest, subtlest stage. सर्वव्यापक अत्यंत सूक्ष्म निरुपाधिक अनुभव को मोक्ष कहते हैं. All pervading in all times, places, etc., which is very subtle and also unconditioned by any upadhi, that is called liberation. Therefore, what is the bondage? That infinite experience is limited to finitude. That all pervasiveness is made to pervade only a particular setup, and that nirupadhika anubhava is made into sopadhika. That is called as bondage. So the nirupadhika becoming sopadhika and sarvavyavaka becoming alpavyavaka and atyanta sukshma becoming atyanta sthula. This is called as bondage. Therefore, we are experiencing that feeling of bondage because we are limited by Deshakala Vastu, because we are conditioned by these Panchakosha Upadhis, because we are, what we say, limited even by the time. Sarva Vyapaka become Alpa Vyapaka, Sada existing self as becoming only temporary existing, and Nirupadhika Brahma actually I am, but now living like a Sopadhika. And Atyanta Sukshma is my sthiti in reality. Now this Sthula Dehadi I am getting Tadatmya with. Therefore, let us define first what is bondage, what is liberation. Then from this bondage to the liberation we have to reach to. And the direct way is what? Just be the Sakshi to everything. Remain in that till you establish in the Sakshitva and recognize the Sakshi to be the self. But the other way which is indicated in this Upanishad is the Krama Mukti. Step by step, getting liberated from the extreme grossest bondage limitation to slowly, slowly, subtle and subtle and subtle. The four muktis that are taught to us in this Upanishad, especially up to the sixth Anuvaka, are first to get mukti from your own personal upadhis. All Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya में रहने वाला अहंकार का. How do you do it? Not catering to its own demands, but using these upadhis in serving the total while being in the body. This is the first liberation. For this, you have to recognize that identifying with these upadhis only as me and mine and fulfilling the demands of these upadhis demands, which are because of the habits, which are because of vasanas, is the bondage that I have to recognize. Like I have my vasanas, these vasanas are doing two things. One, they are making me identify with these individual, very gross, limited upadhis. Two, those are the vasanas which are continuously creating variety of thoughts, sankalpas called desires in my antakarana to work only for the sake of these upadhis. And this is how I am bound. Not one moment or in one activity. Every moment and in every activity throughout the life, when I am living only by the upadhis for the individual upadhi, that is called as bondage. And that Jiva in me is going through that bondage of dukkha, but he has no language of his own to explain. We have to understand. Like a very hefty person who needs 3 seats to occupy, even given only one seat, let us say, how much suffocation he feels. In the same way, the dukkha in us is wanting to get infinite happiness by identifying and working through and working for the most finite and grossest upadhis. This we have to recognize. Only then we will understand what is the meaning of liberation at that level and we can work for it. What is the liberation, therefore? The first mukti, instead of working for my own deha, I work for all dehas. Instead of working for only this one set of pranamaya, I work for the total pranamaya. Instead of working only for one manomaya, I work for the total manomaya. Instead of working only for my ahankara, I work for the aham of all. With this, what is happening? I am getting liberated from what? This one particular set of upadhis. This is the process by which, slowly, step by step, later on, I transcend all upadhis. That goal should be kept in mind. The goal is the nirupadhika, sarvavyapaka, atyanta sukshma atma anubhava. That is the goal. Then only the moksha. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yovedanayitam, all will come, but we at this level of our study, we are just trying to understand in this language. So one can directly from this enter into the Atmanubhuti, one is so qualified. But there are very rare people who are that way qualified. Most of us have plenty of asanas which force us to live only as an individual upadhi tadatmya baddha samsari. Therefore, inevitably, by to eliminate those vasanas and to change our habits only of living for this upadhi, we have to few lifetimes learn to live for the total upadhis, total upadhi of Ishvara in the form of the world. Consciously, we have to do. Remember, knowing and doing consciously is called sadhana. If you don't know what you are doing, then how can it be sadhana? And if you are not doing it what is known, that also will not fetch the result. So I must be aware that I am bound by this Annamaya Kosha. As this alone is me, is going on from millions of lives. Now I have to get out of this identity with this Annamaya. Straight away become conscious of it, become aware of it, become Sakshi of it is one way. That way is always open. If anybody wants, they can go. For many people, it is not possible. Therefore, in the process of getting out of this Annamaya Kosha, I will cater to the Annamaya Kosha of everyone. Means, others' Deha Dukkha I consider as my Dukkha. Therefore, I remove their Deha Dukkha. Others' Deha Ananda I consider as my Ananda. Therefore, I see to it that everybody is Anandi at the level of their own Deha. That attitude and effort which is practically done, while doing which the one deha tadatma we transcend is called sadhana at that level. We have to live life like this for few lives. If any number of lives given, we live only as this particular upadhis are me and working only for that, then those vasanas only become stronger. Any million number of lives we are given even as human, in every life we live only in this small upadhi level and get suffocated. The inexplicable suffocation. And those dukkhas which cannot be put in words. See, the deha दुख you can put in words कि इधर दर्द उधर दर्द, बट ये देह का दुख हो क्यों रहा है जब कुछ देह को हो रहा है तो? क्योंकि मैं इस देह से तादाद में हूँ. वो दर्द, वो अज्ञान का दर्द कहते हैं उसको. The darda dukkha born out of the ignorance that I am only this, that nobody is knowing it. Like the child of 1 year, 2 years. He is crying, crying, crying. Why he is crying? Nobody knows. Everybody experiments only. He may be crying because of कोई चींटी ने काटा है या पेट में दर्द हो रहा है या कुछ. Every because he cannot tell. Once he is years 4, 5, then बताएगा इधर दर्द उधर दर्द है. But छोटू कैसे बताएगा वो? Trial and error method we do, and after 4 hours he keeps quiet. Then we feel we have done something. In the same way, the ghosha of the jiva in us, if you can recognize it, that he says, I am infinite Brahman. Why I am bound by this wretched one deha, one set of upadhis? The dukkha of the middle class men, the dukkha of the qualified but not given opportunities, the dukkha of those who want to serve but not, nobody can understand it. विचित्र होता है इस दुनिया में बहुत सारे दुख my दुख nobody understands. Yeah, I want to see that this knowledge of shastras is spread all over. Nobody understands, but nobody comes forward to help. I only know it, I only pray to Guru God. So they do whatever they can do. In the same way, your dukkha, I can't understand the jiva in you. That he wants to sleep also, you want to come to the class also. He's tossed up between both the things. ये जो अंदर का होता है ना, वो चलता ही रहता है जब तक ही दिस फेलो डायरेक्टली और थ्रू परंपरा रिकॉग्नाइजेस इज इनफाइनाइट नेचर. Keep that in mind, background में. Becoming infinite, becoming means recognizing our infinite, subtlemost, all-pervading, nirupadika self is moksha. Whether you understand or not, whether you accept or not, whether you practice or not, ultimately moksha उसी में होगा. Why? In limited there cannot be liberation because it is limited. Is it not? Anything limited means limited. Anything conditioned means conditioned. How can be limited conditioned be unlimitedly, unconditionally happy? Simple logic. And everyone's effort is to become unlimited, infinite, unconditional only. But they are trying to achieve it through upadhis. Upadhis promise it, but they can't fulfill it. Doing promise is different, fulfilling is different. The promise is not upadhis are doing, but the ignorance in me, the vasanas in me were pushing me that side. So my vasana is making me imagine that through the finite I can become infinitely happy. That fallacy, that mistake that is happening in us, we have to recognize. Simple logic. How can the finite give infinite happiness? Infinite alone can give infinite happiness, no? And everybody wants infinite, not finite happiness. This logic is not clicking. Therefore, struggling we are continuously to get continuous happiness through discontinuous short time lived objects or activities, etc. वही samsara. Samsara is not becoming happy. Samsara is happening, becoming limited happy, and then again becoming dukhi, again to get some more happiness doing something. In this way, there is more struggle, less happiness. That is samsara. There is zero happiness in the world, nobody says. There's happiness when you have coffee, when you have tea. But that coffee, tea, ice cream, they're only limited. It is over. Again you want something. Again you want. Through upadhi, in this way only you become happy. But when you discover self, it is an infinite bliss. And that is unconditional happiness. These are all conditional. These are all limited, etc. Keep that in mind for your inquiry when your mind is quiet through your japa one of the days. Shastra, Vedanta, Adhyatmika sadhana means coming up to the intellectual level and always remaining in the inquiry of what is bondage, what is liberation. Take the help of the books, take the help of the teachings of the Guru, take the help of Upanishads, and contemplating on that only at the intellectual level is called as the Manana, Chintana, Vicharana. That alone removes so many wrong notions. That's called sadhana. Okay, now coming here. So, what is the first mukti? From the individual upadhis, we are by serving the total upadhi, while living in this upadhi only, we are transcending the identity with only these upadhis and developed the vision of serving all the upadhis. Okay, and it has got so many things. How can you do that? This is what the Dahara Vidya. When first of all I recognize myself to be the Aham, Manomaya Aham in the Hrudaya Akasha. Clear? Saya Yeshontar Hrudaya Akasha. First, Tasminayam Purushaha. Second, then Manomayaha. Saya Yeshontar Hrudaya Akasha, Tasminayam Purusha, Manomaya is recognizing of me, the limited bound fellow. What is he going to doing? Anna prana mana tadatmya say he is suffering within himself. What is he actually? Amritaha Hiranmaya. How to recognize that Amrita Swarupa of himself, immortality, Hiranmaya means always in that conscious bliss. Amrutaha Hiranmaya. Hiranmaya is nature of consciousness. Amrita is nature of the pure existence. And that which is consciousness, that which is existence is the bliss. So, first in the Hridaya, I am a Purusha, Manomaya, identified with the Anna Prana Mana. Manomaya means Vijnanamaya there. Identified with the Anna Prana Mana and suffering. Now, this Purusha has to recognize is Amrita Hiranyamaya Sthiti. I have to recognize my immortal, eternally coexisting, conscious, blissful self. What is the process? That is what is said. What is said? Ki by identifying with the total upadhi or serving the total upadhi, you'll have to reject the identity with the individual upadhi. Keep all these practical things. So, two things are happening here simultaneously. One, again and again reaching to Hridaya Akasha and discovering the Jiva Bhava and discovering that one side he is suffering because of Upadhi, other side he is seeking to become Amrita Hiranmaya. This is one point. Second is, how will you have to recognize Amrita Hiranmaya? Unless you transcend the particular Upadhi Tadatmya Anna Prana Mana. How is it doing that? By serving the total. So, by serving the total upadhis, I am rejecting my identity with the individual upadhi, which in the steps of liberation, the first step. And what is the final liberation? Amritaha Hiranyamaya. Okay. After sufficiently done this exercise, now I am not these three upadhis. That feeling has come to me, that strong understanding has come to me. Then in the second step, slowly I consciously eject myself through the given yoga marga in this Upanishad from this heart, slowly through this Vishuddha, through this Agnya and then Sahasrara come out. So in that second come out what? यहाँ क्या होगा? What is said here? कि whichever totality we were serving at the while living in this deha in the initial days of sadhana, while living only we started enjoying serving the total. Okay, like I was working for my upadhis and getting sometime happiness, many times misery. Now I am serving the total, and in the happiness of total, I am recognizing my happiness. एक level का मुक्ति. Now, when I am naturally identifying the total and serving the total, when I reject out of this Sirsha Kapala, because of that development of my understanding and my identity while living in the body, I'll be given a next level of promotion of liberation, let us say. What is that? To whatever the upadhis I was serving, of those upadhis, whatever is the Maha is there, with that I am given the identity. That freedom comes in that identity to serve all the upadhis at the total level. When I was in this body, the serving was struggling. I want to serve all deha, but it is struggle to me because I have limited resources. But when I eject out the body and get identified with the substratum of the bhu called as Agni Tattva, my identity as Agni has got more abilities and powers to really serve the total bhu. Are you getting the point? What is the second level of liberation? First level of liberation is individual to the total. Second level of liberation is the identification with the self of all the totals. So for the Bhuhu Vyaruti, the Atma is Agni. So you are given identity with the Agni Tattva. For Bhuvaha Vyavruti, the Atma is Vayuhu. So we are given identity with the Vayu Tattva. Suvaha is the third Vyavruti. For that, the Atma is called Aditya. So he gets Pratishtha in that. So from the individual Upadhi to the total Upadhi, from the total Upadhi to the Atma of the each of the total Upadhis. This is the second Mukti. Third mukti is what? Even this Agni, Vayu, as well as the Aditya, they are also Angas, is it not? They have their own Angi. Like Bhurva, Swaha, Vyahrutis are the Angas. Maha is the Angi. So too in the set of all those four which were said, there was the Angis, Angani, Anya, Devataha, and other Angas, and main is Angi. You remember that? Annam is Angi, Prana, Vyapana, Vyana is Anga, Brahma, Ronkara is the Angi, Ruk, Yaju, Sama are the Angaha. You remember that? Then Bhuvarlokam, Suvarlokam, Asavlokam is Anga. Then Aditya Loka is Angi. So too Agni, Vayu, Aditya are the Anga. Then Chandramaha is Angi. Remember that एक का 10 बार सोचने से इस तरह के लैंग्वेज को समझने का हमको कैपेसिटी मिलता है. That's what the entire exercise of this Upanishad. When we study this Upanishad, fully involved in this Upanishad, become familiar with every word, become familiar with every meaning of the every center, again and again, every sentence, again and again, that becomes sadhana. Don't just keep the book away after the class over till next day. फिर then 1000 बार भी मैं आकर बताऊं या कोई भी बताए वो अंदर भेजे में नहीं घुसेगा सब्जेक्ट. Our effort is to make this subject our own by uh, doing due efforts to understand it at every level. You can try, it will happen to you. So then what is to be done? These Anga Rupi Devatas with which we are given an identity as a promotion, because while living in body, we try to serve a total, not the individual. And this is not in one life. 100 lives or how many ever number of lives I may have to live, in which in every life little I evolve in serving the total, not the individual. When all the vasanas of serving individual upadhis, be attentive, are gone away and all beautiful samskaras of serving the total are filled with, then I am given promotion to be identified with the Atma of each of these upadhis. Okay, bhuhu means we told you all the dravya. Bhuvaha we told you means all the kriya. Suvaha we told you means all the jnana. Bhurvasva are the dravya, kriya and jnana with which the entire world is made. World is dravya, kriya, jnana. Nothing other than that. Those dravya, kriya, jnana, when solidified and made into this upadhi, we get into that and we identify that. We think this alone is real. Anyway, I will not take you to that angle. Sometime that will click, we'll again talk. Here, a particular sequence of thought we are developing, so we'll go accordingly that. So, with each of the Vyahrutis, Atma we are identified. In the same way, in the fourth Vyahruti Upasana, when we do, what is that Maha Vyahruti Upasana? Then we get a paramotion to get identified with the Mahaiti Brahmani. This is called a third Mukti. First mukti is from individual to the total. Second mukti is from the Vyahrutis or the Upadhis to their Atma Swarupa Devatas who are the Angas. Then from the Anga to the Angi, we get identified. We are promoted to that. When we get identified or promoted to get identified with that Angi, the Brahma, not for a Brahma, the Mahad Brahma, see, these are all the beautiful results that are given. See, Mahayati Brahmani. Now feel that meaning. I am identifying with that Mahad Brahma who is the total Aham, under whom these Agni, Vayu, Aditya, etc. Devatas are functioning. These Devatas are the Atma of the Bhur, Bhuva, Suha, Ityadi Vyahrutis, in whose combination entire world of names and forms are made. So, from the individual to the total, from the total to the Atma of the Atmas or Atma means the substratums of each of the total themselves are Angas. They have an Angi that is called Mahad Brahma. With that, we can identify. We are promoted to that identification even when we are given the Agni Tattva, Vayu Tattva, and Aditya Tattva Tadatmya. With that, again, for sufficient time, when we serve the total bhuhu, total bhuvaha, total suvaha. Like in any office, a particular rank is given, with that endowed responsibilities are there. When he is fully fulfilling all those responsibilities, Then the higher officers are happy with this person. When he has fulfilled all these, now he can fulfill the higher also. Therefore, he is given the higher promotion or rank. Then he fulfills that also. Then he is promoted. In the same way, as an Agni Tattva, if I have served the entire Bhuhu, the Stula, without any selfishness or difference or biasness, and if it is found that it is fulfilling, then I will be given the identity with the Vayu Tattva. As a Vayu Tattva, when I serve and it is fulfilled, then I will be given Aditya Tattva. When I serve as an Aditya totality way, then I will be promoted to become Mahat Brahma Tattva. Hiranyagarbha Sthiti. And when I becoming Hiranyagarbha, I am freed from the limitation of Vayu, Aditya. When I am coming to the level of Aditya, I am freed from the liberation, bondage of the Vayu. When I have promoted the Vayu level, the Agni Tattva ka limitation se मैं पार हो गया. When I became one with Agni Vayu, all this, I am freed from the liberation of Bhurбhuva Swaha. The Vyaharutis. The Bhurбhuva Swaha are all the Jnanam, Kriya and Dravya, and they are expressed at the individual level as Jnanam as the Manomaya Kosha, Kriya as the Pranamaya Kosha, Dravya is the Annamaya Kosha. So, यहाँ से उधर, उधर से इधर. But all that is will be understood and practiced by us. Only we will basically understand what is the meaning of liberation, what is the meaning of bondage. Liberation is infinite, unconditional, subtle most experience. Bondage, therefore, is finite, conditioned, gross living. No, this is not taught in any of the schools, colleges nowadays. No, therefore, everybody is living bondage only, working for bondage only, and dying bound, and again are born as bond. But in the ancient Vedic culture, first this knowledge is given. This is kept as the goal. Then to achieve that goal, everybody were doing their professions only for the sake of the total at that time. Thus, none of them were bound by their own personal upadhis. Because they never were slaves to the upadhi, they very clearly know that these upadhis are to serve total, so that I am out of the identity with this upadhi or not giving a chance to myself to get identified with upadhi, then I will suffer. When I serve the total upadhis, what is required for this individual is given automatically. That is called as yoga kshemam vahamyam. Anywhere when you serve a bigger group of people, the facilities are given to you at the lower level because you need not struggle at the lower. Your vision is higher now. Automatically हो जाता है. So, and these are all the upasanas. ये सब समझकर करते हुए उस अनुभूति में आना. That is called as upasana. Like I understood that living life at my own deha level is bondage. I have to come out of this bondage. How? When I work for the total upadhi. समझ गया. No, I have to live like this, some lives. Then I should come to that experience also that my attention is always on the total upadhi, taken care with the help of this upadhi individual. And when I am serving in the total upadhi, it's an attitude. Sometimes the service may succeed, sometimes it may not succeed, it doesn't matter. Like the doctor. Instead of his own deha, he is giving the health to every deha of whoever comes to his chamber. Now, some of them get cured, some of them may not, because it depends on that person's prarabdha also. But from his standpoint, every deha has to be given health. So, he in fact, knowingly or unknowingly, identifying with individuals like Ashodkar, total upadhis. But if he does it with the attitude of service, but if he is doing it with the ego, with the selfishness, with some profit motivation, then he is not at all Adhyatmik sadhaka. He is a professional, very good doctor. Many patients come, they get cured. He is getting lot of money and awards. But all of that is part of samsara only. Sadhaka is a sadhaka only when he knows what he has to do as a sadhana. Before that, he must know what is sadhya. Is it not? For a sadhaka, every profession is sadhana. If the profession is not sadhana to have Paramatma as the goal, he is not a sadhaka, he is a professional. He is a samsara. He can be prime minister, a chief minister, a doctor, lawyer, engineer, even a Babaji. When a Babaji's lectures are only to become famous, not to recognize the self, then he is a professional speaking Baba. And then they learn all languages, they study books, they refer all that, they make big, big notes, and they impress the people. People also get impressed, and it's a good entertainment goes on. And the ratings are there, the awards are given, and they are satisfied with that only, both Babaji and the audience. If the Babaji knows that all what he is doing is to liberate himself from individual upadhis, identity the total upadhi, transcend the upadhi and go to the Atma of the upadhis, and there also identify the Angi, not the Anga, then he is really knowing what is sadhana. Then that Mahat Brahma, the achieving of that Mahat Brahma Sthiti has such a beautiful results. That is what we are studying from last 2 days. It is called a Phala Shruti. That also is not ultimate because still all of that is again at the Upadhi level. And Upadhi kya hai? Whether it is finite or infinite, Upadhi is Upadhi only. Our goal is not to get identify the total Upadhi. That gives the Sukha of the total Upadhi, but not which is not equivalent to the Nirupadhika Moksha Ananda. So finally too we have to recognize the Nirupadhi of total and individual both. But straight away we can't reach to that because the strongest bondage of individual upadhi that is transcended by serving the total upadhi. This is the intermediate stage, and most of us have to go through that only. Very rare few are there. They bypass all that and straight away recognize the self in them. Like Puja Gurudev and all. In how many lives they must have served the total, of which an expression in this life you can see when they work for the entire nation, by a patriotic person, then working with the entire world spiritually. How many lives he must have done before the enlightened life? They have worked for the total at all levels. Aham is working to satisfy all ahams. Buddhi is working to accept under other ideas also. Mana is working to value the emotions of everyone. Pranamaya was working to cater to the hunger and thirst of everyone, and the Annamaya was serving all Annamaya. And this is a very sublime thing. At one level, all the Annamayas are connected. Okay, every Annamaya is connected to the total. Therefore, total only expressing through every Annamaya. Therefore, when each Annamaya is serving the other Annamaya, he is serving the total only. Thus, he is coming out of the individual, like in any office. Each individual coordinating with each other should work for the total office. That is a setup that is. If anybody works for selfishness, troubling the total and the neighbor, he is redundant. He will be removed from the job. That removal from the job is called suffering. And that recognition is called as spiritual vision. These my individual upadhis are given to me to serve the total upadhi through serving the near and dear upadhis to me. Is it not? So coming out of this to serve the others and through serving them the serving total. The whole vision has to change, not once in a while. Once in a while, everybody does service to anybody sometime or the other. Ignorant person also does it. No, with wisdom. I am part of the total, therefore I am supposed to be in line with, in tune with the total, to serve total only, not individual. This vision is spiritual vision. Initial vision. If that is not there, then I am only this and make this as happy, then that is enough of it. And this can never be made happy or satisfied. Because उसको कुछ भी दो, it is in contact with the total, therefore the balance हमेशा बिगड़ता रहता है, therefore you suffer only. Think little cool. So what we have said so far is one, first recognize the jiva in a heart. Second, understand is this Purusha is Purishete, therefore he is Manomaya, or he is Manomaya and Purishete. He is a samsari suffering. He should recognize himself as Amrutaha Hiranamayaha. And the process of that is the direct path is inquire and realize. Second path is from the individual Upadhi oriented life to the total Upadhi oriented life, from the total Upadhi oriented life to the Atma of the each of the totality, which is not our choice, the Lord will give us. when we are qualified. And there also those Devata Swarupas are the Anga. From the Anga we go to identify with the Angi. The Angi is Mahat Brahma. See, that's why you see Saya Eshontar Hridaya Akashaha, very clear. Tasmin Ayam Purushaha, very clear. He is now Manomayaha, very clear. Obviously, actually, who is he? Amrito Hiranyamayaha. Then this, how he'll have to discover his Hiranyamaya Anumrita Sthiti? A long process of step-by-step evolution. First, Antarena Taluke, Stanaiva Avalambate, Saha Indrayonihi. Indrayoni is, it is the path for first Atma of each of the Vyahrutis. Second, to the Angi. Third one is to the Parabrahma who is beyond even the Angi. इसलिए इसको इंद्र योनि योनि मीन्स मार्ग इंद्र being the lord of devatas, is it not? So lord of all the devatas is Mahat Brahma, and Mahat Brahma also is devata. The lord of him is Parabrahma. So ultimately the Indra means Parabrahma. At a next level, Indra means the Mahat Brahma. In the next level, Indra means Agni, Mayu, Aditya. In the next level, lower level, Indra means totality. Total Bhurva Swaha. Remember, Bhu means scattering all the dehas. Bhuva is scattering all pranamaya koshas. Suha is scattering to all manaha buddhi. Then Maha, Suha. Maha means scattering to all ahams in everyone. वो सब अहम में वही भगवान को देख. Okay, so I have recognized. Then, but this Purushete and this fellow is so dukhi because he being infinite yet identify the finite. Unless this gets clicked, that I am identified with my finite upadhis, therefore the all limitation sufferings of these finite upadhi are becoming mine. This is called dukkha, this is called as ajnanam, this is called as moha, this is called as samsara. This is the call of all bondage. If this is not recognized, then we are not growing in spiritual understanding. Then what we do is not sadhana. We don't know what is sadhana. So serve the total. After that, when we from here antarena taluke stanaiva lambate sa indrayoni bol diya na, then yatraso keshanto vivartate. He consciously brings identity to the keshanta level. There is a shirsha kapala. It is a closed door. Two doors are there. Vyapohya shirsha kapale. Coming out of that, breaking open it and coming out. This breaking open is not gross, not breaking the cranium that way. But the breaking here is the ability to reject that Sirsha Kapala block and coming out. Like when I'm speaking to you, I'm not breaking open my heart and bringing my speech through my mouth and breaking open your ears and entering to your heart. तोड़ फोड़ थोड़ी कर रहे हैं हम यहाँ. But the speech is going on. When I am speaking, you are listening. It's all breaking open only, subtle breaking. The thoughts from within coming out through my mouth, entering to your ears as sabda. Those shabdas are breaking open. The intellect's non-thinking to the thinking, and that thinking is breaking open the non-understanding into understanding. In the same way, Vyapohya Shirsha Kapale. Then what is next? Because while living so many lives, he served the total. He will be given license and freedom to serve total again as an experiment by providing him the identity with the Atma of each of them. That's what Bhagavan Shankara. Bhuhiti asya vyavruti atmanaha agnyo pratitishthati atma bhavena tishtati agnyatmana tishtati. So at that level, who am I? I am the Agni Tattva. What is the Agni Tattva? It is the Atma. Of what? The Bhuhu. What is the Bhuhu? All the matter in this world. Which is the one because of which all the Stula Dehas are made of all the Jivas. Therefore, as an Agni Tattva, I have all the capacity to adjust, repair, set right any of the Stula Dehas. Depending on requirement. Again, like in the world also, a doctor is qualified to treat the patient's bodies. Yet it depends on the response of the body of the patient and the relation. He is a very VVIP. The doctor will attend to him more urgently than anything else. If he is a roadsider, care भी नहीं करता डॉक्टर. ये सब जैसे होते हैं वहाँ भी होते हैं सेम. Because again, the totality is decided. If a doctor is not caring a person on the road for his disease, it's not only doctor's mistake. That person prarabdha bhi hota hai. It's always mutual. Therefore, you can't blame anyone. That jiva will have to go through that. He'll have to evolve. That is the only way. It is always ruthlessness there. Anyway, that's different topic. We need not enter into that. So that is how bhuhi iti agnau pratitishthati. Understood? Bhuhu iti means bhuhu vyahruti upasana. If it is done, he will be promoted to get established pratitishthati in the atma of the bhu vyahruti called as Agni. And what is the meaning of becoming identified with the Agni Tattva? Is in being the Atma of all the Bhuhu, he'll have the power to control all of them. Power to regulate, utilize all those Stula Dehas. Possibilities are infinite now. We can't mention. Some of them are mentioned after this Mahaditi ब्रह्मणी आपनोति स्वराज्यम. उस टाइम हम थोड़ा रिकॉग्नाइज डिस्कस करेंगे. तो फिलहाल तो यहाँ तक आ गए. भूः इति अग्नौ प्रतिष्ठति, भुवः इति वायौ प्रतिष्ठति. When while living, one is transcending the identity of his own pranamaya, but serving all pranamaya by catering to their hunger and thirst. Again, this calls for not one life, many, many lives. Like all of us. In this life, 90%, 95% we cater to our body. 5-10% somebody's we are doing. Up to that only we have evolved now. 100% serving other deha, to reach to that level it may take 10 lives. So too, I am catering to the pranamaya kosha, not only of mine, but to your own family members. Bete, khana khayo kya? Bhook lag rahi hai kya? Pute. So our pranamaya kosha identification has transcended from me to the beta and pota. In some of the houses, you can see that Dada always inquires, बच्चों को खिलाए कि नहीं, बच्चों को खिलाए कि नहीं. In houses, they don't even ask. कुछ कुछ जगह खुद खा के सो जाते हैं, खाए या ना खाए. मतलब that fellow is fully identified only with his pranamaya. But this दादाजी at least catering to 3-4 जीवा, मतलब उतना वो थोड़ा evolve हो गया. In the next few lives, he asks about the entire family. In the next life, he will become maybe a person where under him the 200-300 people are given food. So he will always ask, सारे 400-500 लोग hostel के सब खाए कि नहीं. See, his identity now is with more pranamaya koshas. In this way, after some lives, when we feel for the hunger and thirst removal of all the pranamaya koshas in the entire universe, then we have really evolved. At that time, we need not run physically to cater to every pranamaya kosha. Wherever we are, with whatever resources, to those pranamaya kosha we serve. But heart in heart, we pray to the Lord, "Oh Lord, let nobody suffer with hunger and thirst." And that becomes a consistent thought, continuous thought, effortless thought. Such one, after that life, it may take 20 or 30, 50 lives. After that, Deha is transcended. He will be given promotion to get identified with the Vayu Tattva. The Vayu is the Atma of the Pranamaya Kosha or Bhuvaha Vyahruti. As so, he is given freedom to quench the thirst and hunger of everyone. At that time, he gets a wisdom also. When I am given the Vayu Tattva identity, and this I by choice have evolved to, now I can cater to the hunger and thirst of everyone. With this idea, when he goes to those jivas, there the wisdom clicks to him. Does this jiva desire my service of pranamaya? है ना? टू हिज प्राणमय कोश. फिर उसको उस जीव के प्रारब्ध, फिर ईश्वर के इच्छाएं, ये सब समझ में आकर जितना चाहिए उतना ही करेगा, ज्यादा नहीं करेगा. Earlier he was emotional and sentimental that every jiva should be free from hunger and thirst. But when he matures, he knows that that jiva has to evolve. A part of his evolution is he should suffer hunger and thirst. देखो उस जीव के साधना के लिए जितना चाहिए उतना हेल्प ही करेगा, संसार का हेल्प नहीं करते. Like Pujya Gurudev, he is identified with the Pranamaya Kosha of all his bhaktas. Therefore, he sees to is that every Pranamaya Kosha who are under his bhakta and disciple category are given food. How much food? that by which they do sadhana, that by which they serve the samskar, whatever. More than that, he will not give. And anything else is not given by him. It is we only we have earned and we are indulged. He says, take my name, you will get 2 time food. But that you have to eat and do sadhana, do service. It's not that he can't give me the food continuously. Then if he gives that food to me, then he'll be a sinner and he'll be destroying me. क्योंकि मेरा दिमाग खाने पे रहता रहेगा. And I also have to have the wisdom by Gurudev's grace I am getting sufficient food which can sustain my life, with which I can do pravachanam, satsangam, swadhyayam, sadhana. That clarity is called sattva guna. The clarity is called wisdom. That is called evolution. See, this thinking is totally different line now than what we were thinking earlier. Identify with only upadhi, not even knowing that we are identifying with upadhi, but only living life of desires and fulfillment. शरीर के, मन के, प्राण के डिजायर को फुलफिल करने वाला जिंदगी संसार का कहाँ है? अब when we are talking the language of the upadhi, condition of the upadhi, you have to transcend the upadhi conditioning. For that this have to be done. ये understanding देखो कितना फर्क हो गया कि नहीं? Only when we study the Upanishads like this, that our vision is lifted from the binding vision to the liberating vision, by the way. In the same way, the Suvaha, when we have done service to the total mana buddhi of the world for many lives, then in that last life, when we eject the deha consciously, we are promoted to identify with the atma of the total manomaya buddhimaya, called as Aditya, Swarityaditya. Now, with these promotions of each of them, we are given again upadhis to work through. That upadhi can be of any size. Upadhi is not only the deha, upadhi is all inner faculties. With those faculties given, when we serve the ahams of all the jivas, what is the serving of aham of all jiva? Only one thing, let every jiva with ahama be liberated from his small aham, get identified with the infinite aham. खुद पहुंचा कि नहीं पहुंचा, बट सबके लिए वो सोच रहा है. Like whether I filled my stomach or not at prana level, I am thinking for the prana of everyone. That's called sadhana. In the same way, when he lives in that way, like all these gurus are at that stage, they are in their own liberated level. Now everybody wants every jiva aham to get liberated to infinitude. Some of the gurus, they themselves have not liberated, but they are planning, thinking, praying, putting effort for liberation of every jiva along with theirs. जैसे कि नहीं आपको कार्स में जाने का जब मिलता है मौका, यू आस्क हिम, यार वी आर गोइंग टू दैट पिलग्रिमेज, कितने बार गए तुम? दैट विल से, मैं तो 100 बार गया हूँ साहब. Is it not? 100 times he went, so everything is familiar. Someday a driver comes to you, you ask him, भैया how many times did you visit? He said, मेरे लिए भी पहली बार है. But he is also taking you in the car. 100 वाला भी ले जा रहा है, 1 वाला भी ले जा रहा है. मेरे लिए भी पहली बार है. Therefore, there are some gurus, they themselves are not liberated, but they are wishing for liberation of everyone. They are taking everyone along with them. They are the sadhaka acharyas. There are siddha acharyas are there, like Gurudev and all. They have reached and they are now effortlessly guiding others. Now we are talking here about the third upadhi, suvaha, when we are serving, using our aham to serve every aham to get liberated. This done for long number of times. We are given identity with what? Serving manabuddhi, with the aditya, which is the atma of the suvaha upadhi, we are given identity. Then in many lives, when I also work for the liberation of others and me, okay, when that gets to a fulfilled stage, then we will be given identity with the Mahat Brahma. Like anybody example take, there is one Mahatma, 2 or 3 people he is giving satsang. Thereafter 10 people, then 50, then 100, then 1000, 10,000. Now whether he'll serve 10,000 or 10, his vision is liberation for everyone. Therefore, whether he speaks with mouth or not, his presence only inspires many jivas to take up spiritual path. That means what? One side, their effort that every jiva should get liberated is growing. Other side, effortlessly to him, the Mahat Brahma Sthiti is being given. like a Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. He started teaching two, three people who used to come to him. Then it became 10, then became 100,000. Now he doesn't speak to anyone, but his presence only makes everyone as a sadhaka. What is that happening at that time? He has become one with Mahat Brahma, because that Mahat Brahma is the Atma of this Maha Upadhi to which he was serving. Mahavyahruti. Okay, Subhavyahruti Upasana is that where I am accepting the intellection and emotion of everyone. Then I'll be given identity with the Aditya. Being Aditya, when I am loving or serving the entire creations, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya Kosha, I'll be promoted to get the Tadatma with the Mahat Brahma. Also, in my life, I should aim at not only my liberation, but everybody's liberation. Like when you give an intellectual idea, I appreciate it. When you have an emotion, I acknowledge it. So I am acknowledging the emotional, intellectual individual in you. At the same time, if I think that individual jiva in you should get out of all upadhi and get liberated, that means I am doing the Maha Upasana in you. So whoever comes to me, like anybody comes to me, comes with Annamaya, Pranamaya, Mana, Vijnana and is Aham. ये पांच लेकर मेरे पास सब आते हैं ना, whether they know it or not, I must know it. So what is my identity and to which level I am catering? Depending on that, my subtlety is decided. And not only that, any number of upadhis that are coming to me, to all of them when I serve, then I am given identity with the Atma of each of the Vyaharutis. What we do generally, ourselves we serve. To that level only all capacities are given. But when you are serving the wife or husband or children, that level capacities are increasing. Many people serve only that family. Some people start serving their own relatives. Some expand to the horizon of the friend circle. Some of them enter into the neighborhood. जैसे politics इत्यादि में enter करते हैं or any higher professions, then they start serving a particular groups, a large chunk of groups. That's how all these happen. Vaishya serving Vaishyas, Kshatriya serving Khatris. That is wrong from the total standpoint. But right from the exclusive individual standpoint, कम से कम उस कौम को उस चीज को तो लोग सर्व कर रहे हैं ना. So this is how the evolution happens. These are all very sublime things. If you are able to tune, you can understand what is the meaning of evolution happening. Like Indians going to British for their own individual survival. Slowly, when they have grown, now they are going to be given that Mahat Brahma Upadhi to become the Prime Minister of the entire nation, that they are going to serve the whole nation. मजेदार बात है. नाम भी देखो, शौनक ऋषि. शौनक होय महाशालाः विधिवत् अंगिरसमुपसन्नः पप्रच्छ तस्मिन् भगो विज्ञाते. The Mundaka Upanishad. Disciple is Shaunaka Rishi only. But in America, when you write a spelling and start pronouncing, it becomes natural. I see. Like all the names of Indians in America are not the names, but the surnames only they call. Mr. Munta, how are you? His name is Shambhu, but Shambhu is forgotten. He's Munta only. Mr. Reddy, Mr. Rao. Reddy Rao are titles. The main name is this one, like we are going to see. सत्यमिति सत्योच्चारातीतरः तपैति तपोनिष्ठि पौरुषिष्टि स्वाध्याय प्रवचने किनाको मौद्गल्यः. All these main names and surnames are going to come in this Upanishad. This is the only Upanishad in which 7-8 rishis names are given, who are the authority of the Upasana and Sadhana and Brahma Vidya. By the way, that is this topic. Now, we have struggled today to explain to us what actually is sadhana, what actually is evolution, what actually is the higher experience. And sometimes we get surprised. अरे मैं अपने फैमिली के लिए देख रहा हूँ, ये सबके लिए कर रहा है, ये कैसा हो रहा है? Same, the effect of that also is like that. My own family never listens to me, but when he speaks, 1,000 families are listening. What is the difference? He has come to that totality level, not in one life, in so many lives of evolution. So we have to also evolve to that level. So first bhur bhuva suva maha kya hai samjho. At the individual level, bhur bhuva suva maha is my annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya and ahankara. Manomaya includes vijnanamaya. Buddhi mana milakar. Okay. Then the serving of this is samsara jiva. Now the liberation is not transcending all of them, becoming one Paramatma. Process is what? Instead of serving one bhur bhuva suva maha, we serve the total bhur bhuva suva maha. That will take us to the promotion of getting identified with the Atma of the each of them. Bhuka Agni, Bhuvaka Vayu, Swaka Aditya, and Mahaka Brahma. Then, living as Mahat Brahma, all the benefits are told now. Phala-shruti to inspire us, which is very, very fascinating. After that, still you are in Upadhi only, remember. जितना भी बड़ा उपाधि हो, उपाधि उपाधि है ना. We have to be only Nirupadika Brahma alone is moksha. The one who does all this, then in the Brahma Vida Apnoti Param, which we chanted today, which is in Brahmananda Valli, that will be given to us. That knowledge. Not straight away. Even if it is given straight away, हमको दिमाग में बैठता भी नहीं है अभी. अब देखो, because of these many days of our efforts, we have understood what is sadhana, at least little information level or vague level. How you root the rumination on this more and more, then the conviction becomes strong, understanding becomes strong, then start doing sadhana, then you will know. Like at my level, I can't serve the bhur bhuvaha suvaha now. Because as a sannyasi, I can only serve the suva to some extent and more is maha. I am catering to the little emotions with my whatever love I can do, but little more of intellect, the knowledge of Shastra, and to that the ultimate Maha, that let each of you, the listener, like me also struggling for myself, get liberated from the individual identification to the total self. My attention is on that. I can't come to the lower level of giving you the khana, giving you all the physical comforts, etc. कर दिया होगा अपने पिछले जन्मों में. I imagine नहीं करने का है, भगवान कराएंगे. Who knows? He may give all this theory conviction to me. Maybe 100 lives he may make serve all the physical bodies by making me a doctor, all Annamaya Kosha by making a hostel warden, all the Manamaya Kosha by putting me in a mental hospital. कुछ भी कर सकते हैं भगवान जरूरत के हिसाब से. And I am ready for that. Whatever. All that remains unknown till we reach there. But wherever we are, we know where we are. Then what to do, we are coming to know. Then let us do that. That is our conscious effort to evolve. All these subtle things are hidden behind the mantras. Explanation details of it, Bhagavan Adi Shankara is giving little. We are also expanding and understanding. So he told one thing, Bhu iti agnyau. See, Agni Atmana Pratitishthati. Agni is the Atma of the Bhu Vyahruti. Bhu Vyahruti means everything which is gross in the universe. So too Vayu Atmana Pratitishthati, the one who does the Upasana of the Bhuvaha. Bhuva is the entire Pranamaya Kosha in the universe. Then Suvaha Adityatmana Pratitishthati, the one who has served the Mano Vijnanamaya Kosha of the entire universe. So to Mahat Brahmani Pratishtati, if is one is serving the Maha Vyaharti, which is valuing every individual, whether it is a microbe or whether it is a macrobe. याद रखना है, कोई ब्रह्मदेव के स्थिति में हो या इंद्रदेव के स्थिति में हो या स्मॉल एंट में हो, the aham is same in all of them. Difference is only in the upadhi, but the jiva aham in both of them is same. Brahma aham is both of them is same. Brahma aham is both of them in same, there is no difference in it. But jiva aham only, the ant can become Brahmadeva can become ant. Potentially it is so. How much time it will take, all that again depends. Therefore aham. Aham upasana, the one who does, he gets identified with the Mahat Brahma. So at the Mahat Brahma level, his attention is only in the aham of all of them. Therefore, he will do both. He caters to the aham of everyone, both for their comfort at the Bhurbhuvasa level, and also that aham should realize its infinite aham of Aham Brahmasmi. Like Puja Gurudev. When you look at, understand from his standpoint, whoever are around him, he wants all of them to have the physical comfort, the bhojanam, as well as the mind should be given with love and all. But that is half of it. The other half it, through the Atma Jnana taught in the Upanishad, let everybody get liberated. See, Gurudev is at that level working. Such great saints and masters, realized saints, they work in that way. And why do they work at the Bhurbhasva level also? So that the Jiva is given sufficient comfort not to bother about it. Therefore, he can attend to the spiritual evolution effortlessly, strugglelessly. जैसे आपके बच्चों को भी घर में आप अच्छा जगह देते हो रहने को, खाना देते हो, कपड़े देते हो, प्यार देते हो, फिर कहते हो बेटा आप पढ़ो. बिकॉज वी डोंट गिव ऑल दिस, वो कहाँ पढ़ेगा, वो सड़ेगा वो. So you are identifying with the Maha of that child. As a child, aham, you want him to be a great professional. So your attention mainly is on the growth of that child as an individual. But that growth you will have only when the other comforts are given to him. At the mind level, love them. At intellectual level, inspire them. At the prana level, food is given to him. At the body level, you see that he is healthy, secured. For all of that is what for? Beta खा पी के सो जाना कहते, you are not a parent then. You are only Dhritarashtra type. With this, security is given by me, you study and grow. Same is the universe, same the totality, same the Rishis Munis work. They provide all these three Anna Prana Mana required things, but their attention is only in our Jiva Bhava, which will have to transcend to the Parabrahma level. Because that alone is mukti, and they are in that mukta anubhava sthiti. Okay, and the mukti is there only, therefore everybody they want to come to that level. But they know because they themselves have gone through thousands of lives evolution. By looking at a fellow, they know at what level each of the jivas are there. तो उस लेवल का अनुग्रह देते जाते. Like Puja Gurudev has 10,000 disciples, let us say. In 10,000 disciples, there will be पूरे परिपक्व वाले कुछ होंगे 5-6. Is it not? Then it will lower level वाले 1,000 होंगे और एक level. So he knows all of them and he blesses them accordingly. And they will also slowly evolve in that way. Among those, we are also few. See, if you can understand the Upanishad in these examples, we can be clear in the understanding. Okay. Now, Maha iti Brahmani. Up to this, we have seen. That onwards, Maha iti Angini Chaturtha Vyavriti Atmani Brahmani Pratitishthati. Now, the Phala Shruti, when we identify the Mahat Brahma, is given. And while giving the Phala Shruti Mahat Brahma, the Phala Shruti which is mixed when we reach to the Agni, Vayu, Aditya Tattva, they are also added as if. Okay? Mahat Brahma Tadatma Sthiti में ये सब का फल मिल ही जाता है. So one by one we see. Apnoti Swarajyam, Apnoti Manasaspatim, Vakpati, Chakshushpati, Shrotrapati, Vijnanapati. Then even beyond that, Etat Tato Bhavati, Akasha Shariram Brahma, Satyatma, Prananamam, Mana Anandam, Shanti, Samruddham, Amrutam. In this way, the 14 results are told when we identify the Mahat Brahma. Try to imagine what would be the individual's feeling at that time when he identifies the Mahat Brahma. Maja aata hai. Now we are cocooned only this one Upadhi. Upadhi to एक ही होगा, but attitude and serving will be for the total. Understood? Inner attitude and understanding the total. Upadhiyan to एक ही मिलेंगे. And then as we grow, the greater upadhis when they are given, then they are given freedom to create their own individual upadhis or work through all the existing upadhis. ये सब फिर कल हम बताएंगे धीरे धीरे उस सब्जेक्ट को. तो यहाँ तक आ जाते हैं हम महाइति ब्रह्मणि. When he does the Mahavyarti Upasana for many lives, where he is serving not his ego but all individualities, then as a parupakvata fructification of that, he will get identified with Mahat Brahma. Like in any of the departments, army mein, slowly he is serving himself as soldier, then slowly 3 लोगों का leader, 5 लोगों का leader, slowly he starts becoming in charge of a particular group of 20-30 people. And as he is growing in his ability, capacity of himself working through many ones and making many people work for a project, he is made to become a leader. Then he can be given the power to command a battalion, he can be command to a brigade, he can even go to the level of entire army. So, commanding the entire army is called Mahat Brahma at that level, chief of army staff. And in that, as a chief of army staff, remember, he'll have to achieve the main goal of protection of nation through all of them. At the same time, under him, whichever are the ranks are there, his immediate next two levels है ना, lieutenant general वन से लेकर even lance naik or whatever the lower rank तक, he'll have to mind everybody's every need. सुबेदार सुबेदार या हवलदार जो भी कहते हैं, उनका फिजिकल, उनका प्राणा, उनका साइकोलॉजिकल, this Mahat Brahma will have to cater to his needs, their needs. And thus, each individual he takes care, mutual relation he takes care, makes it as a complete army unit. And this entire army unit, while protecting the nation, he will have to be in again line with the Air Force and Navy, because सब मिलकर ही होता है, and all the three should be under the president. President should rule the nation, keeping all other nations in mind. Like yesterday in Valmiki Raman we saw, no Raja should be troubled when we establish our Rajya. See that Bhagavan Rama's thinking is that level. He is giving his own brother's children the kingdom, not at the cost of other kings, not at the cost of harm to any of the Rishi Muni, not the cost of any of the jivas there. So his vision is of that level. That we have to develop. वो सत्व गुण develop होता है तो होता है वो. And that will happen into a lot of upasanas, lot of satsanga, lot of study of books. Then only the murja हुआ bud like buddhi gets blossomed flower becomes. हमको क्या है ना, अब खाना पीना सोना टीवी देखना उसमें भी एंटरटेनमेंट देखना, मूर्ख जीवन जी रहे हम, महामूर्ख जी रहे और मर भी वैसे ही मूर्ख, अगेन जन्म लेंगे वैसे ही मूर्ख. But when you go to Guru, listen to satsang, study the Shastra, then intellect is getting blossomed in the possibilities as well as in the goals. Okay. Now, Mahaha iti angini chaturtha vyahruti atmani brahmani pratitishthati. Okay. Teshu atma bhavena stitva. Having established in parampara in the atma bhava, each of the vyahrutis as Agni, Vayu and Aditya and Mahat Brahma. What happens to him? Apnoti Brahma Bhutaha Swarajam. He gets the Swarajam apnoti. Swarat Bhavam apnoti. What is Swarat Bhavam? Swayam eva Raja Adipati Bhavati. Angabhutanam Devatanam Yatha Brahma. See, he becomes Swarat like the Brahma to whom all the Devatas report. जैसे ब्रह्मदेव को सारे देवता रिपोर्ट करते हैं, so too he will become that Swarat to whom all the Agni, Vayu, Aditya devatas report, and they take the orders from him and they do it. And what do they do, Agni, Vayu, Aditya? The Agni, Vayu, Aditya are such stations or maturities or positions in life where their attention is not an individual physical body sustenance, an individual's pranamaya kosha's hunger fulfillment, an individual's mana buddhi satisfaction. No, their attention is for the total. Like a teacher in a class cannot be biased to one student. His purpose is every student should be taught and everybody should grow. That is his general idea. Particularly depending on the qualification of student, किसी एक घंटा ज़्यादा पढ़ाएंगे अलग, वो सब फिर secondary. You may make two students come together. अरे तू अच्छा जानता है ना, उसको पढ़ा तू. All of the managements follow later. But heart in heart, every student of my class should grow. So to Agni Deva, heart in heart, every Bhuhu Yukta Jiva should have comfort at the Bhu level. So to the Vayu Deva, identified that person, every pranamaya course in the universe should be happy. They don't have biasness. They cannot have. Like the rivers don't have biasness. They will go on flowing. Whoever come take bath, allow. Whoever want to use the water for the fields, allow karte hain. ऐसे कोई anything when become identified total, they don't have individualized biasness. पेड़ का कोई आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं होता, कोई भी छाया में बैठ सकते. We say it is my पेड़, how can you sit? It will not ask which is the person taking the fruits. Panchi bhi, Gilahari bhi, Manmi bhi, Pashu bhi, anybody can eat the fruits. They think my job is to give fruit. Anybody can eat. Anybody say rather, everybody. Vayu is not blowing for some people, it is for all. Surya Kirana is not for any biased people, it is for all. In the same way, that individual has an Agni, Vayu, and Aditya level when he comes, his attitude will be definitely catering to those needs at that level for the total. No, beyond all this, Anga Bhuta Agnivayu Aditya is the Angi, the Mahat Brahma. At that Mahat Brahma level, he is the Samrat. What is the Samrat? Samrat is not enjoying his Samrat position. That enjoyment is secondary, given as a byproduct. Samrat position is that he who is catering to all levels of needs of all subjects, means all praja in his kingdom. So this Brahma is becomes Mahat Brahma Apnoti Swarajya means he becomes a person of identifying with all the layers of upadhis along with the individualities of the entire universe. Therefore, his attention is to serve all upadhis of everyone with the goal that they have to transcend upadhis to reach Paramatma. And that Mahat Brahma is working continuously in the universe for all the jivas, giving to each jiva what is required to them for their evolution from wherever they are. ये बड़ा स्कीम दुनिया में चल रहा है. Like in a hospital, there are 100 inpatients are there. You know, early morning 5 baje say all the doctor, nurses come and make all preparations for catering to the need of each of the patient. You know, this it's all big thing is going on, whether we observe it or not. They mutually discuss, they all that, यार बेड नंबर 13 का एक्सरे निकालना है और बेड नंबर 15 का ना उसको बायोप्सी के लिए ले जाना है, बेड नंबर 22 का है ना उसको आज थोड़ा है उसको स्कैन कराना है. ऑल ऑफ दे डू इट. एंड इसको सिलाई चढ़ानी है और उसको क्या है ना और ट्रांसप्लांट का है उधर ले जानी है, ये ठीक हो गया उसको डिस्चार्ज करना है. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड इट? How all these Shaktis are working. In the same way, we are all that way spiritual patients. We have to get the spiritual health. The total powers are working in that way. When we understand and cooperate with them, benefit is ours. Like every patient, when he understands, all doctors, nurses, cooperates with them, he is benefited. He becomes healthy. So this is what is Vedanta. This is what is this Upanishad is giving us all these details. That's why me also trying to understand while explaining to you, we are trying to see as many details as possible. And tomorrow we see what is the meaning of Apnoti Swarajyam, Manasaspati, Vakpati, Ityadi. And what introduction we gave as summary of what is studied so far, tomorrow it will not be repeated. Today we started with what is Mukta Sthiti, what is Bandhana Sthiti, how from the Baddha Sthiti to Mukta Sthiti we have to travel. The direct path is this inquiry, the other general path is slowly evolving from the individual Upadhi Tadatma to the total Upadhi Tadatma, from there to the Atma of each of the Upadhis. They are also the Atma of each of the Upadhis are Devatas, they are the Angas, then the Angi is Mahat Brahma, getting added to the Mahat Brahma. Then the Mahat Brahma's great positions, his great benefits that are explained. Manasaspati, Vakpati, Chakshushpati, Snotrapati. Tomorrow we are studying to. This is one Upadhi, one Upasana Paddhati. I told you million times, Shanno Mitra is one level of Upasana. Siksha Vyakyasyama, another Upasana. Atata Samhita Sahagam Hitaya Upanishadam Vyakyayamaha, that is another Upasana. Then Yaschandasam Vrishabho, another Upasana. Avahanti Vitanvana, another Upasana. Bhurva Suritiva Etas Tistro Vyarteha, another Upasana. Sa Eshontar Hridaya Akasha, another Upasana. And all of them at a mature level of spirituality, simultaneously done, daily done. Only these things are done, no other thing. That is called as full-fledged sadhaka. There is no samsara in him. There is no kamanas, bhoga, kuch nahi. He is spiritually evolving at all these levels. So he spends some time for Shamno, some time for Shiksham, some for Samhita Upanishad, some for Yachandasam, some for Avahanti, and also some for Sayeshontar Hridaya Akasha. Systematic. Then we'll see next one. Prithivyantariksham Dyaurdisharvantardishaha is the seventh upasana. Then Omiti Brahma, Omiti Takam Sarva, Omityeta Manusudasma Vashravakayanti, Omiti Samani Gayanti, Ogam Shomi Shastran Sagam Shanti is the eighth upasana. All the eight upasanas we have to do while conducting our regular life without any disturbance. That's called as a ninth thing, where the balance between both are taught. Rutam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha satyam cha swadhyaya prasane cha dav. What a beautiful this Upanishad. If somebody wants to study it in a researching manner, और उसके लिए दिल दिमाग मेहनत लगाना चाहिए. जो लगाएंगे उनको फल उतना ही मिलेगा. And these things we don't listen, never listen. We only listen only that literature which prompts us to live only as a wretched jiva, identified only with the upadhis, catering to the desires of this upadhi like an animal. What can be done by any guru and rishi? बताओ कौन क्या कर सकेगा उन बंदों के लिए. So far we were living like that. Now Bhagwan and Guru Tattva and Guru Parampara is giving us an opportunity for us to understand and evolve consciously. Choice is ours. Today we'll stop, continue tomorrow. Om, 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 Just extend these two prayers. O Lord, O Guru, O Guru Tattva, O Shruti Mata, please bless me to detach my identification from the individual upadhi and enter into identification and service of total upadhi. O Lord, O Guru, please bless me at the total level upadhi also. Let me get slowly detached from the sthula upadhi to the sukshma upadhi. At that level also, O Lord Guru, help me to identify with the samashti upadhi. And finally, O Lord, let me experience my final essential nirupadika Brahma Anubhava. Brahma Anubhava, before that the Virat, before that Aditya, before that Vayu, before that the Agni, before that serving the total of the Aham, total of the Manabuddhi, total of the Pranamaya, total of Annamaya. And before that, ourselves coming out of our own Anna Pranamana by recognizing ourselves as Jiva in the Hridaya Akasha, who, because of identity with Anna Pranamana, now is living only as Purusha and Manomaya. Through all this said sadhana, you will discover himself to be Amrutaha Hiranyamayaha. See? Same way, let us pray to the Lord that whoever living the life of limited jiva, each of them also, Lord, may evolve in this way to recognize the ultimate truth. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha Paramarashibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Om Vedavyasa Vaishampayana Yagnavalkya Adya Shankaracharya Varadi Rishibhyo Guru Bhyo Namaha Asmat Guru Bhyo Namaha Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you. Please stay 10 minutes for Vidraniti.